What up, y'all? I'm Tyler, and this is a movie news recap where I keep you updated on everything I think you'll find interesting in the movie news space. And the week is here. It's here, guys. It's CinemaCon week, and I am so hyped. Now, I know a lot of you don't know what CinemaCon is, and it's this 1 week event expo where all the theater chain owners and studio executives gather in Las Vegas, and they just celebrate the movie-going experience. And if you're anything like me, you just love movies, and this is like right up your alley. But one of the major ways they do this is they have huge panels by the studios just highlighting all their upcoming movies and giving us huge announcements and showing them new trailers. But one of the things that happens is we don't get to see these trailers, but they have a whole bunch of reporters and other influencers there, and they just talk and like give you very detailed descriptions about what they saw. And I'm going to cover all of that here for you just in one little video. Each day, I'm going to cover every announcement from Warner Brothers to Disney to Paramount, all of them. But starting out with 2025 CinemaCon, kicking it all off was Sony Pictures. And I'm going to be completely honest with y'all. Sony Pictures the past couple of years has been hit or miss. Like one year, their biggest thing was Kraven the Hunter. I mean, and the trailer looked good, but that was your biggest marketing push was Kraven the Hunter. I mean, if you saw that movie, like, really? But this year, they came out swinging, and they ended swinging, and they hit it out of the park for a home run. Sony clutched up this year at CinemaCon. There's so much to talk about. I'm going to cover a lot of it. I'm not going to read every trailer description in depth, but I'll tell you about everything. I'm going to tell you every story and every like movie they talked about. But with that being said, let's dive on in. So Sony started their presentation out with what some might call a little safe, because they started out with a very well or somewhat well-known IP with the 28 franchise, which is a horror zombie post-apocalyptic franchise. Started it with 28 days and then 28 weeks, I think, or 28 hours and then 28 days, I think is what it started out with. And it starred Cillian Murphy, not my type of movie. I'm not a horror guy, but it's still very well-known franchise in the horror genre, and it's an interesting take. But with that being said, we just got our first look at the 28 years later franchise, and it's starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, and it sounds pretty interesting. It says it's a lot like the original. I'm not going to read the whole, like the original trailer. I'm not going to read the whole description, but it basically starts out and has the same vibe of the original, but it opens up with a group of military soldiers in a dark hallway with flashlights, and then they get attacked by zombies before the opening title, and then they follow, and then you get to see the like main set area, which is an English town. And then you get to see Aaron Taylor Johnson's son, who's become of age that he has to learn how to protect the town. And you get to follow him in learning how to use a crossbow against the zombies. And then the like trailer starts to like get like a little more antsy, and they start showing like some deaths and some people running through the woods and some Judgment Day stuff. And then that's the end of the trailer. So it's not super deep, but it's supposed to be a lot like the first trailer. A trailer like this, and if it's not that much different, sounds like it might just be the second trailer that we might get in a week or two, probably something like that. And it's not going to be a complete exclusive, but we're not going to get it right now. Now, with that being said, they had one more announcement about this movie, and they're saying that Cillian Murphy is set to return to the universe, just not as soon as you expect. So I don't know what that really means. I'm not a huge fan. I don't even really remember anything about the first two films, to be completely honest with you. But let me know if you guys are excited for this film and if you guys like the 28 franchise. But that's all the news we have on that from CinemaCon this year. But coming up next, we are diving into my favorite update about all of CinemaCon so far, and that is the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse updates. And I am so excited about these. So we officially got the release date for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse after it got delayed after it was supposed to release only a year after the second. But our new release date that I probably think they're actually going to hit after everything else that they showed the CinemaCon guests is June 4th, 2027. A summer movie right at the beginning. Super good date. Probably means they have a ton of trust in this, which why shouldn't they? They have had a ton of time to work on it, and all the other Spider-Man movies have been great. But with that being said, they did get some footage, and we got to talk about that. So the footage is as described. They say that the footage will opens to a camera moving through a multicolored prism of sorts. The scenes from the prior two movies are intercut, and the footage then shifts to a quick succession of teases of what the audience can expect. Miles and Gwen are riding on a motorcycle, and the spot is sucking the color out of various environments. Speaking of the Spot, they say he seems to have the ability to transform into an arachnid-style form that sees him crawling menacingly toward the main protagonists. But then the big component of the film shows that like fight between Miles and the new Prowler, who's played by Shamik Moore as well, a version of Miles. Strangely, the shot towards the end of the teaser then shows the two of them working together, who together with who appears to be the original Prowler who died in the first movie, and then the multicolored prism then appears to be the logo for the new movie. My obvious takeaway from this is it looks like the Prowler and Miles aren't going to be enemies the entire time, which was kind of my guess. It looks like they're probably going to have a fight at the beginning, then have to team up and become frenemies to fight off the Spot to save their universes, which makes complete sense in my opinion. I didn't really think they were going to stay enemies the entire time. But that isn't the only thing we got. We also found out that the entire voice cast, or the main two voices really, in the Spot are returning. That is, Shamik Moore, surprisingly, is returning as Miles, but also Haley Steinfeld is returning as Gwen Stacy, which I love Haley Steinfeld playing Gwen. It's a perfect voice cast in my opinion. But then they also said that the animators are working on brand new styles of animation just for this movie. And based on these first looks, they look sick. But my favorite part of this is the Prowler design. He just looks amazing. I love this Prowler look. But with that being said, that is all the news we do have on this movie, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. But let me know if you guys are hyped for this, if you guys are even more excited for it now. I know this got me even more hyped, even though we just got a little trailer description and a whole bunch of images. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think. But moving on from this, we move to some more art house films. And the first one we actually get is actually a movie starring Austin Butler, and it's actually called Caught Stealing. And they did get a trailer for that too, and we need to read that. And this trailer actually goes as described. The footage description goes as this. Attendees were treated to the first trailer for this newest film, which seems to be a large departure from the tone of the director's previous efforts. Instead of a drama, this new film is an ensemble heist film, and I love heist films, so this already had me hooked. It opens with a brief introduction of the cast. Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz play an edgy couple, and Bad Bunny is a charismatic mob leader. It's got a team-up heist movie tone. We see kitchen fights, a car chase, and Rabas is eating mochi ball soup between Austin Butler and a comedic final shot. Now, I know that's not a lot to go off of, but I mean, it just sounds like a fun heist movie, which I mean, you can't really go too bad with a heist movie. They're never great, but they're never horrible really either. I mean, if this is even near the worst Ocean's 11 movie, then I'll be happy. But sounds interesting. I said arts house, but I mean, it's just not an IP, I guess is what I'm saying. And Austin Butler is a great actor. I know some people don't like him ever since Elvis because his voice did slightly change. But with that being said, that's all we really have on this movie, like at all. But with that being said, we actually move into a horror movie to talk about, and that is actually Resident Evil. Now, Resident Evil is based off a video game that, to be completely honest with y'all, I know nothing about. Never watched any videos on them, never played the game. I know nothing. But they did say that this movie is supposed to come out in September of 2026, and it's supposed to follow one main singular protagonist. And I don't really know if that's a deviation from the game. The way they make it stick out makes it sound like there's supposed to be multiple. As I said, I know nothing about it. But if you guys have played the games or like the games, let me know down in the comments everything I need to know, and if this follows the game's idea, or if it's just veering way out there, and if it makes you worried or excited. But with that being said, it says that it follows one main protagonist who is going on a point A to point B journey, just a real linear journey, and just slowly falls into more hellish territory. I have no clue what that means. It sounds like it's supposed to give you an idea based off the games. I know nothing about the games, so I don't really know, didn't really look into it before this video. With that being said, if you guys know anything about the games, let me know if this means anything, if this has you excited or worried. But with that being said, moving on from this, our next movie actually looks kind of like a wacky romance movie, and it's starring Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie. And we got one trailer description from it that's actually kind of lengthy. So it goes as this, and I'm going to read this whole one, and maybe skip around a little bit, but I'm going to go through it all because it does sound kind of interesting. So it goes like this. The trailer opens with a series of brightly colored umbrellas in a rainy environment. Characters played by Colin Farrell and Margot Robbie steal glances at each other. The interest in each other is clear, but they part ways. Driving through the countryside, Farrell is asked by his GPS if he wants to go on a big, bold, beautiful journey. The GPS then brings him to Sarah, the character played by Margot Robbie, whose car is broken down. The two ride together to a strange red door in the middle of nowhere. The couple step through the door only for them to be in a high school memory of Farrell's character, where he was a lost young love, where he lost a young love. A quick succession of shorts go through understanding visualizations of memories the two will wander through. Then they'll have brief glances of faux Waller-Bridge character sitting at a desk. I know I butchered that name. Sorry about that. Footage feels tender, heartwarming, and lightly funny, yet more conventional than After Yang, which is the director's previous movie. While it doesn't exactly look as big and bold as the title suggests, there's a lot to appeal here for the general audience and art house crowd alike. Now, this is what I was talking about. We're going more art house here. It does sound interesting. It sounds kind of wacky, just walking through a red door in the middle of nowhere, going through each other's memories. I mean, I don't know. This is kind of one I wish we did see the trailer for. We'll probably eventually get it since it is coming out soon. But with that being said, let me know if you guys are interested in this one. The next project was actually an animated film called Goat, and I actually made a short on this a while back. And this is actually following a goat in a pro basketball world, being produced by Stephen Curry, and it's got some good animation producers behind it. But with that being said, we actually didn't know like anything about the plot, but they did get some new still pictures from the movies, and we actually didn't get to see them, but we did get the description, and the descriptions go as this. Stephen Curry introduced the stills from the film. This story follows Will Harris, the titular underdog of the story, or the undergoat. See what they did there. Trying to enter the big league of animal sports, though we didn't get to see any clips in motion. It will be another 2D, 3D animated hybrid movie. Finally, we were shown a set piece of Will playing a match against a large silhouetted bear-like figure, where the court is covered in flames. Teasing the goat will take its imaginations to the next level in its vibrant basketball scenes. So, I mean, kind of sounds like Space Jam, but fully animated, 2D, 3D hybrid. Sounds kind of fun. Sounds like it'll definitely be a kid's movie, but I mean, Sony does good with their animated films. It's one of their stronger suits, actually. So I am excited for this. Let me know if you guys are excited for this. I'm not a huge basketball guy, but if you are, this might interest you a little bit more. But with that being said, moving on, we actually got another horror movie update, and that is I Know What You Did Last Summer. With What I Know What You Did Last Summer, we're going to kind of just rapid fire through some of these. These are some of the smaller announcements or stories. But with this one, they just got a little bit of footage of following Freddie Prinze Jr.'s character going to a new town hall meeting and learning about a new serial killer's summer murders. And that's really all we got. There is more to it, but that's really the simplest way to put it. There wasn't much else to it. Following that, we did find out that that the director of Godzilla Minus One is actually making his first ever English language film called GrandGear, and it's being produced by J.J. Abrams. That's really all we got on it as well, but I love this director. He's a great visual and emotional storyteller, and I can't wait to see his first English film. I loved when Bong Joon-ho switched to English. I think that it'll be great. It'll be better for general audiences as well, especially with J.J. Abrams. He's great with bringing in the general audience. But after that, we got Jack Black talked about he didn't think he was going to be involved in this movie anymore. But Jumanji 3 just got confirmed with the same original director, and that's Jake Kasdan. And I love the Jumanji movies. They're tons of fun, and we just got the third confirmed. Let me know what you guys think on that as well. But then finally, in this rapid fire session, we got a new poster for the Chainsaw Man movie. And I mean, I know nothing about this. I mean, obviously it looks like an anime. Sony announced it, so we're talking about it, but I know nothing about this. But that kind of ends our rapid fire session. And now we are going into our next big topic that had me super hyped. And that story is Spider-Man 4, Tom Holland's fourth Spider-Man movie. We got the new title, and we got the new logo and the release date, and I am so excited. Starting off, the release date is July 31st, 2026. So coming off right off the heels of Avengers Doomsday. So that probably means this is going to be really important to the story. But on top of that, we also got the new title, which I love this new title. It's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, I mean, I could go into a whole bunch of like deep dive of what brand new day could mean, but we're not going to do that here. We could do another video or short. Let me know if you guys want me to do that down in the comment section about breaking down what this could mean. But with that being said, the new logo I absolutely love for this. It looks just so much classic Spider-Man, which is what I've kind of missed from Tom Holland, is that classic Spider-Man look. But this color, the font, I love this. It looks amazing. I mean, if you guys just look at this, you guys can't tell me this just screams Spider-Man. But with that being said, that's all we got on Spider-Man, which you guys might be asking, why isn't this in the Disney panel with Marvel? Sony gets to announce Spider-Man stuff. It's just kind of their thing. So that's why it got announced. But we'll probably get Marvel announced on the Disney panel. This one is just separate because it was Sony. But that's all we have on that. Let me know if you guys are hyped for this as much as I am. But moving on from this, we got our next big announcement, and that is a new Beatles biopic starring all four Beatles being played by current actors. And we got a new actors list, and then it goes as this. The cast is Harris Dickinson as John Lennon. Paul Mescal, which is my favorite actor on this cast, is playing Paul McCartney. Barry Keoghan is playing Ringo Starr, and then Joseph Quinn, probably my other favorite actor on this list, is playing George Harrelson. Now, I'm not a huge Beatles guy. I like all their songs that I've heard, just don't know them very well. I can't really sing along with them, but I know the Beatles are huge, even internationally, so this movie should do great. But I am kind of surprised they announced it here and not just some press release, because this movie isn't coming out until April of 2028. Almost as crazy was whenever Disney announced a couple weeks back of Coco coming out in 2029. But let me know if you guys love the Beatles, or even just like them somewhat, or if you hate the Beatles, I don't know, or if you're excited for this movie. But with that being said, that's really our last big announcement, other than one more announcement, and that's one of my favorite announcements as well, probably outside of Spider-Man ones. This probably is my favorite announcement from Sony, and that's Karate Kid. And Karate Kid, if you don't know, is coming out with a brand new movie where they're bringing the reboot and the original and they're crossing them back over. And I'm super excited about this movie. I love Karate Kid. I even loved Cobra Kai up till honestly the most recent season. It fell off in my opinion. But with that being said, they actually came out and had like a live like show for the audience where like they're doing some action stunts and stuff. And then they came out on stage and showed this brand new trailer that we are getting as a public tomorrow. So if you want to skip to the next timestamp, I am going to read the description of this trailer, but if you don't want to know anything until you see the trailer tomorrow, you can do that. I totally understand. But the description goes as this. The new Karate Kid named Lee enters the scene in his low-lit apartment, only to notice a pot dangling in the kitchen. Suspiciously grabs it, calling for his mom, and then he's attacked in the kitchen. And then he's greeted by Jackie Chan in a gray hoodie, and his mom enters the scene. They talk, and then they switch to California. Jackie Chan exits a taxi and enters an empty dojo. And then we get to see the same scene we saw in the first trailer, where he sees the picture of Mr. Miyagi, pays his respect, and then Daniel LaRusso walks into the scene and says he's already passed away. And Mr. Miyagi says, and then Jackie Chan says he already knows this, but he came looking for Daniel. And then we get a little bit more here, and it says that he actually says that he needs Daniel to come to New York to train Lee in Miyagi's ways. And Daniel says no, and then Jackie Chan jokingly tells him he kind of doesn't have a choice. All right, guys, but with that out of the way, that video took a lot longer than I thought, and it's a lot longer of a video than I thought. But I'll do these for the rest of the CinemaCon week, just covering all the different panels, letting you guys know all the news updates, so you guys don't have to like jump around and read all sorts of articles to find it out. But with that being said, let me know what your guys' favorite topic and announcement was of this panel, of just the first night of CinemaCon. I just want you guys to think about that. All these announcements were just from one night of CinemaCon. We have 3 more days of this, multiple studios on the rest of the days. This was just one. But obviously my favorite announcement was the Beyond the Spider-Verse, then Spider-Man 4, and then Karate Kid stuff. But let me know what you guys want, what footage or images you guys maybe wish we got to see. But with all that, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already, so you stay completely up to date with all these announcements. But until next time, I'm Tyler. Take care.